Rise and shine, you all out here on this motivational Monday or whatever day you may be catching this. This is your Unity in the Community kind of chick, Nina Marie, and I am excited to be back with you all for another episode and segment of Life Talks. You all, this is a show to where it is about real people, real conversations, and just simply being real, right? I am so excited about today, you all. And if you have not yet done so, I'm going to need you to go to my social media and follow me. Yes, on my social media platforms, if you are not yet following me on Facebook, it is under Nina Marie. If you're not following me yet on Instagram, or as the students say, the IG, if you're not following me on Instagram, it is under real_Nina Marie. And if you have not yet locked in with me on TikTok, you still got a chance to get to TikTok as well. It is under real Nina Marie. So I am excited, you all, to be with you today for a variety of reasons. We have been talking, having great conversations as I've kicked off the latter segment, or I would say as I've kicked off literally a whole nother portion of my life on Life Talks. It has been a while since I've come to the table with Life Talks, but being able to be here in Graham's studio, giving me the opportunity in TV land over here to really be able to bring my heart and passion to the screen and to the airwaves has been nothing but a blessing. And it has been definitely challenging as well. I was sharing a bit about my experience when I first started radio. I had no idea, and I still don't today. Let me just be clear. I still don't have an idea what I'm doing, but just out of obedience and making sure simply that these conversations are heard and it is a safe place and a safe space to be able to come and share general conversations. I often say as well here in Life Talks, we dig deep and we go deeper and we have conversations that are not necessarily everyday type of conversations that people have, but I'm grateful to be able to be the one and to be one of the ones, because there are several out there, but to be someone that provides this safe space to have these conversations. And so today, you all, I am even more excited because I have one of my classmates in the studio with me today. And I was like, come on, Star, come on. Like the role that she's played from the beginning when we started school together, but even more so to be able to get to know her a bit better in this last year and a half that we've been on campus together. I'm really like Granny on campus. You know, she more with the younger folks, but I absolutely love who she is and what she stands for. And you know, when you the teacher pet, that's the one that you really got to dig, you know, lean on into, because she's just always been that one that when the teachers needed assistance, they needed her to come and help set up technology. Like Star was the one that they called on. So I couldn't think of a better person, especially even being in the seat that she's sitting in this year from the MSW program. I'm talking about MSW. Yes, Master of Social Work Organization, right? Master of Social Work Organization this year as the president, if I'm not mistaken, right? As the president. So without further ado, you all, I want to introduce to some and present to others Miss Star Dies.
Thank you for having me, Miss Nina.
I'm so excited that you are here. It's only like a matter of time. We was like, we gotta get you here, right?
Yes.
But I'm so excited that you are here, Star. Like,
Thank
just so
you.
grateful, you know?
This is very new to me, so you the only one that can get me out my shell, I guess.
Let me tell you, and I knew that you would just do great just because of who you are as a person, you know? Like I said, from the moment that I met you last year, we were in a small class.
Yes.
And you know how the students say, you know, you got to vibe off people's energy, you know? And it was from day one, like your energy was so welcoming, it was so warm. And it was no doubt that I realized, like, okay, this is somebody that I'm at least get to chat with. You know, even if we don't kick it outside of school, this is somebody that I want to be connected to. So thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive right in. Like, we are just really coming out of homecoming good,
Yes.
you know?
Yes,
and before we even talk about campus life and where we are in our own personal lives and professions, I want to go back a little bit further, if that's okay.
Okay.
So your undergrad was in what?
Social work.
In social work. So you did undergrad in social work, but you didn't do it just recently. You graduated when?
I graduated in 2023, so I took a year off.
Okay, and you did your undergrad here?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
so you did at the Grambling State,
The Grambling State University.
where
yes.
everybody
Where everybody is somebody.
is somebody, right?
Yes.
So you did your undergrad here at Grambling. What made you go into the field of social work?
Well, honestly, growing up, I did a lot of, I guess you would say, mission work with my grandfather. You know, going to see people on their sick beds, doing community service here and there. So I guess I just naturally have a need of helping people. I love to help people, whether it's for money or free. I don't do it for the money first. So it just naturally comes. And I find myself, even when I'm, you know, out and about, if someone needs help, I find myself helping them.
Why not, right?
Yes, it doesn't matter
what
it is. I just try to, you know, help, because you never know what that does to a person. That person may be having a bad day.
Absolutely.
And all they simply needed was somebody to show that they cared.
That's so good.
Whether I know you or not.
Period.
Just simply show that, you know, I care.
And even going back further than why, I kind of put the cart before the horse, because what number are you as a college, as a, you know, just a college student in your family? Did you come from a lineage of college graduates?
No, I am a first-year graduate.
Come on, first
generation graduate.
Yes.
So that was very exciting for me. You know, paves the way for my siblings to come behind me, make my family proud.
Absolutely.
And at this point, the sky's the limit.
And I wanted to go there, start first. That's what I really wanted, because I didn't know if you were first generation.
Yes.
I'm not a first generation college student, but I am the second person in my family to have a college degree. And then, you know, when you start paving the way, others follow. So right now, me and my mom are both in school, getting our masters in social work. She's online and I'm in person, but it does pave the way.
Yes.
So I really wanted to start there, because here on Life Talks, we're going to be talking about life.
Yep.
But at the same time, we hope that something that we say pertaining to our life is an encouragement or an example. So let's talk about that off rip. Just being first generation college student, like.
It did put a lot of pressure on me, but at the same time, when I walked across that stage, it was very rewarding. You know, seeing my family smile, seeing their support, and, you know, just being able to do it for myself, really, because the path was not easy at all.
That's what I was going to say. Like, let's even start there on the path, because you got to sit down, and I mean, having worked with students myself for the last 25 years, I'm walking students through, hey, when you fill out this college application, you can't have it say, when they ask for your email, it can't say hotboy95 at Yahoo. Like, it has to be a whole process. And if you don't have somebody walking alongside of you to help you with these things, because obviously when you're a first generation, or in my case, a second, you know, college graduate, you didn't have I didn't have the people walking alongside of me to help me with this process. So the process of it from the beginning just wasn't easy, huh?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You just have to learn as you go. I'm with my family learning. We're just learning together at this point. And, you know, it just was a journey for all of us.
Absolutely.
When it was almost time for me to graduate, you know, it was a very exciting moment. You know, my parents threw me a big graduation party after.
In Michigan, we call those open houses. We have open houses at home, whether it's high school, college, undergrad, or college grad. We have big open house parties.
Yes. I mean, it was just a overwhelming moment. And what was more rewarding was that my grandparents got to see me walk across the stage.
Wow.
And hopefully they get to see me this time around.
Come on, Star. I love that for you. And, you know, to say your grandparents, like my grandmother being up north, shouts out to Michigan. I always say Louisiana can't get all this credit, okay? But my grandmother could not read or write.
Oh, wow.
She could count her money, but she could not read or write.
They gonna know how to count their money.
You already know, like Granny was gonna count that money, honey. Okay, and it's so crazy, Star, because when I think back over some of the disadvantages that our grandparents had, or our parents even had, like my grandmother couldn't read or write, and that was, if I'm 40 something today, that was over 30 some years ago. We didn't have speed dial then.
Yeah.
But because my grandmother couldn't write, as she say, you can pick up her phone and smash that number for my mama, smash that number for my aunt. So she had speed dial.
Yeah.
Even long back then, So to be able to have your grandparents
Yes.
witness that, girl, what a blessing that was. I bet
Yes,
it was.
it was.
And then your siblings, you have how many younger siblings?
I have 3. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
And so I know they was probably like, sis,
Yeah.
you did it.
Along with their accomplishments, I'm just trying to help pave the way for them as well, whatever path that they want to take. Just make sure that they are successful, because at the end of the day, that's
all
goal.
it is. Absolutely.
We want everyone to be successful. We want everybody to win. So in whatever way I can help, I try to. So.
And y'all, let me just say this. Star has never been on Life Talks, and when we are in class, we're strictly talking and doing classroom stuff, so she doesn't know. I need my audience right now to forgive her, because she doesn't know that we don't believe in saying try. Okay, we don't try to do anything. We're rather going to do it or we're not. So you have done an amazing job setting the path up, for them to be able to win. And that is really such a great lead in to my next question, or just even comment, because I want us to dive in our remaining time. Like, so here we both are, college students. When I went and did my undergrad, I was going through a nasty divorce, and I literally didn't think, the old folks say, I don't know if I was coming or going. And it wasn't so much so because of the divorce, but who marries to divorce?
You're right.
Right? And so as I was going and doing my undergrad, I literally was doing good just to raise my children now as a single mom, and I went to do my undergrad at another HBCU. Shouts out to Wiley University now. But I did my undergrad, even though social work had been my profession forever. Now it was time to go and get my paper, and I did my paper I did my degree, my undergrad, in organizational management and business administration, because I knew that I would be working to build these international state-of-the-art facilities, and I didn't want them to say she didn't have the credentials as a business. So I did the major in business, although I continued in my heart and passion in social work. So I remember sitting in class the last semester of my undergrad, and this particular class was called, it was an elective, Marriage, Families, and Intimate Relationships. And you know how you got the syllabus, and the first class, the teacher's going over the syllabus, like immediately, Star, my higher power started speaking about, I was going to get my master's in this, and I was like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, I ain't doing no master's. I'm doing good just to get my like, I was so bamboozled to the point to where, you know how you see the cartoons and you just hearing, wah, 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 and you ain't listening. I was not listening at all after I got this revelation that I was supposed to be doing my master's, because I knew that that couldn't have been God. But I went, and I was just listening. And so here we are 13, 14 years later. Took me a minute to finally really digest it and prepare myself for grad school. But here I am today. And not just in a sense of I'm just here to get a degree, because I can think of 1,000,005 other things I can be doing right now. But as they say in the good church house, for such a time as this. And so I share that because we're now here in college preparing to pursue what's next as we prepare for the real world, Now, we could have went to school, no offense to all these other majors, we could have went to school for this, and we could have went to school for that. But social work was our plight. Now, I love how you said you just always had a heart for the community and to help and to serve. That's a whole nother in itself, because if you know, like I know, it definitely ain't about the money.
No, it's not.
It's never going to be about the money when you're talking about really just serving, because it's more of a service. That doesn't mean that we can't make no money, because I didn't realize how much or how many different professions was in alignment with social
I
work.
didn't either, and I'm still learning.
That part. Like, you remember our assignment where we like, oh, you can do this and you can do that. So we didn't have a clue that all of this was attached to social work. But when you look at the profession as a whole, let's talk about this organization, MSW organization, Master of Social Work organization. As the president, tell us a little bit about this organization, because we know that we're supposed to be in here helping folks, whether you got this paper or not, especially as a coacher. But this particular organization is put in place to assist master students.
Well, it's put in place to assist master students as well as our community. We do go out, we do things in the community. We recently just did a health fair in Arcadia, and it was a successful turnout. And we also have an upcoming canned food drive.
Yes, we do. Talk about that. Yes.
And I do want everyone to get involved. This is just not for social work students.
Yes.
Because we do know, well, I don't know if many of you know, there will be no EBT next month. And that is the month of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So we want to be sure that families are still able to have a Thanksgiving. They're not worried or scrapping for food.
That's right.
So I do want everyone to participate in that. But this program, it kind of helps build character and get you out there for community involvement, because that's what it's about. You have to be involved in your community in order for things to work, in my opinion.
That's true.
Because if you don't have the community backing you up, then you're not going to have the support that you need.
Absolutely.
You know, to help make change. So.
And I love that, Star, because one of the notes here is talking about building trusting gaps. Like building gaps, first of all, putting a bridge in place to close the gaps, but even in that bridge, like, can I trust you? Can I, and when I think about the profession as a whole of social work, like, it was so important to me to have you on, because like, we're both MSW students, but it's so much bigger than us sitting up here wanting to recruit them to come into the profession, or even sitting up here, wanting to get some cans for our food drive. It's particularly because in our own communities, we have so many people struggling.
Yes.
We have so much mental health that is attacking our communities that I don't know about you, but I don't remember none of these diagnoses when we were kids. And Uncle Johnny and them and Uncle Juju and them was just as thrown off, but we ain't thinking about no mental health diagnosis. And so this is so much bigger when we think about this as a whole, because one of the things I also didn't know was, we got all these professions over here, but the only thing I really knew about social work was when you see social workers coming, they come to take your kids.
Yes, and that's a big perspective that a lot of people have. So it's kind of difficult, to explain to them, I'm just not a baby snatcher. That's not what social workers do. We serve. And I think they get that perspective from, you have some people in the field that don't have a heart to actually help people. They've, I guess you could say, left a nasty taste in their mouth.
Absolutely.
So that's where we have to come in, because we're the future.
Come on.
That's where we have to come in and make our mark.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely.
But this is not a profession that you need to get in if you're not honest about helping people, because if you're not honest about it, it's definitely going to show when you go out and you do your work.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to be able to build trust with your clients or whatever community or group that you're working with.
Absolutely.
So.
You mean those are the people that just need to stay at the gas station and be nasty on the other side of the counter?
And whatever suits them. Yes.
Yeah, because this ain't it, right?
No, this is not. And it's a tough job.
Yes, it is.
I don't care what field or area of social work that you go in, it's not an easy job.
It's not.
There's a lot that you have to keep up with. There's a lot that you have to know, and it's not get started on the master's level classes.
That part.
It's just, you have to be You have to be determined
Yeah.
to want this.
And determined to help and, like you say, to serve, because it's so much bigger than even just getting this paper. Like, I also had no idea the weight and the responsibility of what a social worker was. Like, you mean I gotta call the popo for real, or I could be going to jail if X, Y, and like, it's just so much that goes into it. But it takes me back to building that trusting gap, building the bridge to a trusting kind of relationship, because it's our community that's struggling or has the lack of service. So one of the things I was thinking about, you know, because we were in our internships last year, and you've already been in the field, in the profession. We ain't calling out no names of no employers or anything like that. But you have rolled up your sleeves and got down and dirty in the trenches of this thing called social work. Started told me some stories. I'm like, dang, start saying, I just did this. Like, oh, you ain't even, oh, okay. Because you have no idea what we are walking into.
And you have no idea what people go through on a day-to-day basis. And, you know, I always try to look at it. I'm fortunate. I have a house. I have food. I have not struggled for anything. So if I was in that situation, I would want somebody to help me. I would want somebody to be kind to me and help me. Because social workers play a big part in, you know, resources that are available. Because there's a lot of people that don't know what resources are available.
Absolutely.
So it's up to you to know what's available, where it's available, and how you can better serve, you know, that family.
Absolutely.
Or, you know.
Absolutely.
So I always look at it like that. I'm very fortunate. I try to always say that I'm thankful, because I am. Because it could have been.
It could have been.
But it's not.
That part.
And I'm thankful for that.
That's so real. And representation matters. You know, because I'm always going to be, like I say, y'all, we have real tough conversations, but we normalize tough conversations in Life Talks. Because I remember my experience with a social worker that needed to come and interview my baby. Now, let me just say, when I tell you I came home to a card on my door, like, and then it was a Friday, so you can only imagine my mindset from Friday to Monday. Like, I couldn't wait for Monday.
On pins and needles the whole weekend.
And when I tell you that this social worker that was dropped in my lap was nobody but, and we still got an unbelievable relationship today, because I had never experienced anything like that. And the accusations, y'all, I wish I had time to tell y'all the story, but the accusations was so bogus. And she was like, I have to leave this open for this amount of time, but you will get your letter stating that it's closed, right? But when I had to go and speak to DCFS workers for a specific event, and I saw her in the room, like, my counterpart spoke first, and then I closed it out. But as soon as I walked up to the podium, I greeted everybody, and as I was greeting and speaking, I was going right to her to hug her. And I was, you know me, I'm just, you know, and I said, I know most of you all are probably wondering, why am I coming over here to hug on her? I said, because false charges or just the field of social work is not discriminatory. It does not discriminate on how you look, what you look like, what you don't look like, the color of your skin. I could be as most professional, it's like none of that matters, but the representation that comes matter. And she approached that table and she was the best in life. And I was so appreciative that she didn't come to this table like social workers are known if they wasn't called to the field, right? And so I just was so grateful to be able to really highlight her at how she came and really honor her to not come, because I'm a parent that ain't never experienced nothing like this. So I was just so grateful for that. But representation matters, and you doing your job because you got a check, and you doing your job because this is your passion, makes all the difference in the world.
It does. It really does. And it shows, because they can see right through that.
It definitely shows, doesn't it?
They really can, yes.
It definitely shows. Now, as I often think about our role as social workers, like again, I ain't gonna lie, like I had no idea that social workers had so much responsibility. And it's so much bigger than you just doing your job and getting paid. Like these people's lives.
That's in your hands. They're bringing their problems to you, and that's a lot.
Girl, did I say their lives are in your, like their whole lives are in your hand and they're counting on you for guidance, for connections. That's the other note that I got here. And like they are counting on me to not only empower them, but am I empowering them and sending them away? Or am I empowering them and setting them up with resources and connections and community opportunities? Like, what am I doing to really set them up? So the responsibility of social workers is a major weight. And that goes right back to even your role as an MSW organization as a whole.
Yes.
Because it's not just, like you said, it's so much bigger than students, but it's about what are we doing and what type of impact are we making across our communities,
And
right?
are we out there? Are we serving? Are we making a change? Is it impacting lives
Right.
in a good way?
Right.
You know, it's just a lot that that takes part in that. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not want to be president at first, but I mean, it hasn't been too bad. You know, I have a great team behind me or beside me. So it hasn't been all bad. It's a new experience, like I said, but it's been going well.
I love that. You said team. I'm making a note of this, y'all, because I'm a firm believer of team. TEAM. There are no I's in team, and together each accomplishes more. So even as we think about our class as a whole, we had our, 2-year master's students, which was us, and then we just merged with advanced standing master students who were former social work students in Grambling that just graduated, and then the advanced program is a year that we merge classes. And what I love about what you said about a team, and we talked about it in class today actually, I personally believe, and I'm biased because I'm a part of the class and I know some of y'all, I believe that this group of students is by far the next social workers of our nation. Like, we ain't just in there getting no paper. Like, everybody that I know that I have connected with is really in that classroom to get that paper, to be about that life pertaining to our culture and our community. And let me just say, I keep referring to culture, but social workers, we help black, white, purple, pink, like we just help people. But when I think about where we're heading as a whole, I think that we are going to be some of the nation's best group of social workers, for sure, that has ever hit the field, let alone that has ever come out of Grambling State University. But the thing, and it ain't no but, just an exclamation mark there. However, I want to hone in on team, right? Because we talked about that in class today. And when you realize, especially in this helping area or helping field, I know for a fact, Star, and I can speak for me personally, I'm not interested in here in getting no best friends. I'm not interested in being in here walking away with no, like, I want to see you in 10 years, but I'm mainly in here to get this degree. But while I'm in here, I want to be able to be a team player, to make sure that I'm not only getting this degree, but that we're putting things and people and plans in place that's going to better our communities as a whole, because there are no I's in team. And I often say, when you can get out of that I mindset, then we can get some work done.
Yes.
When we out of what you over here doing and what I'm over here doing, we can really get some work done, because at the end of the day, it's about the client. It's about how can we better serve this family right here. If this family needs this resource, who do I know in my classroom that now works over here at the agency that I need to get these resources from? Because it's a difference when I say, go on over there to the such and such to get what you need versus go and tell Star Dies that Nina sent you.
Yes.
It's a different type of referral when you have these relationships that is working for the best of our clients. So I love this statement where it says social work is not charity.
No, it's not.
It's change. What can we do to produce the change? You know, or even this one, representation saved lives because people open up when they see themselves in their healer. I'm gonna say that again, because we talked about representation matters. So representation saves lives because people open up when they see themselves in their healer. So Star, thank you. Ain't that good? Like that is good, you know. Thank you so much, you know, because again, being a representation of the MSW program, being a student in the classroom, willing, I mean, I can text you, Star, you like, yep, this is this. Thank you for being that example for social workers and what we can look forward to.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
talk about real fast as we wrap this thing up, the food drive again.
So we are having a canned food drive. It will start November 1st to November 24th. You're able to drop your cans off in Charles P. Adams in room 311 in the conference room. If you do not know where that is, I'm sure somebody can tell you where it is once you walk in. Any canned foods. So whatever you can give us, that'll be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much again for joining me on Life Talks for a whole nother segment with my sister, my girl, my counterpart, Star Dies, over here in the MSW organizational program. You all, don't forget again, if you need more information on the canned food drive, you can definitely reach out to me on my social media platforms. Nina Marie on Facebook, real_Nina Marie on Instagram, and real Nina Marie on TikTok. Y'all, I see y'all, Lord willing, again, same place, same time next week for Life Talks. Peace, y'all.